Gemini Collective, welcome, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to do a love reading. Now, this is not necessarily for your divine counterpart, your twin flame. This is for next in love or singles currently dating, maybe just having met somebody and you want some confirmation about where this might go. I will say, if you're doubting something, and you're looking for other information, the likelihood of the answer being no, this may be something that you just move along from with the Four of Cups. And that's kind of, there's King of Cups and the Four of Cups. It's like, should I stay or should I go? Should I move forward with this? Should I pursue this? Should I give my heart to this? On the masculine side. But that's not always the case, because as children of chaos, cycle breakers, we often confuse fear and intuition. So you might be feeling fear because the path less traveled is divine. And no one's ever traveled the divine path like you will on your divine path. Everybody's divine path is a little bit different, but they all lead towards the same center. So maybe something about a center, Queen of Pentacles. Maybe this Queen of Pentacles really grounds this masculine. So these can be maybe some traits, characteristics, circumstances that you might meet this person in. So this can confirm if you just met somebody and you're like, ooh, what's that tango? Then tangle in my dangle. And then I don't know where that came from, but then the Nine of Wands was under there. So I feel like the masculine here has dealt with enough casual connections, lower vibrational interactions. They're just like, no, I want this. This is somebody who knows their value. This isn't someone who's just, I don't know why I'm getting all of these. Maybe these are things that you say, but I'm getting like, whatever flips your dripper, or whatever, like, I don't know, blows your dandelion. I just think I made that one up. So we have the Fool and the Hanged Man, that Four of Pentacles and Four of Cups. So there's this like very reserved energy here. It could be someone who's very patient. They're making sure that they have enough in their value system, their pentacles. The masculines typically consider 3D factors. So this is somebody who could be like working out the logistics of it, making sure they have enough to give to a relationship. It could be somebody who's very busy, somebody who's working on their money, their stability. Like they're very focused on staying stable. And so I feel like they look at this feminine as like an asset to their funds. I don't know, maybe one or both of you like deal, maybe, because with Pentacles you could meet at work, or you will be working together. You have the same, you're compatible, you want the same things at your core, at your center. I keep getting the center. It's like at the center. So maybe you two are very different. Not two people that others might visualize together for whatever reason. Only you will know what that means. But there's something very compatible here. 333 on the clock. The Hanged Man and the Fool are circumventing. I don't know where these words are coming from. I mean, I'm sure I've used them before, but they're just very specific. It's like a specific nomenclature. So maybe the job that this masculine works in, or the job that this feminine works in, is, again, maybe you work together or in the same field, but it's like a very, how there's medical terminology, there's lingo every place that you work, there's terms, and they have to like, like for instance, like, what is it, Walmart, or most places, most larger stores call people like the customer, the visitor, and now I can't remember it, but Target calls it something else. I should know this, but I always hated it, so I rejected it and called them whatever the hell I wanted to call them. But they called them the guest. Yes, the guest. I knew it started with a G. So maybe the G. I'm looking at the G and the High Priestess here. It's right at, like, it's not the very center, but it's like in the middle. There's somebody, and with the Hanged Man here, this masculine could be kind of in the middle of something. The Fool, they have to take a leap of faith. So they're contemplating, they're sorting it, analyzing it. It's a very analytical, maybe very literal masculine. Like, pentacles are what you can see, right? Money is what you can see. It represents our worth. It represents our value systems. And if it doesn't, then you're doing something wrong, right? But it's really difficult because, you know, money is a monster as well. So there's something with that money monster. Monster's Ball. I don't know, maybe those movies. Is it a movie? Is it Money Monster? Why do I see like Brad Pitt and George Clooney? Sagittarius, Taurus. Pretty sure that's their signs. Anyway, Queen of Cups, High Priestess, and the Queen of Pentacles. This masculine is looking at this feminine because it's like this feminine feels like a figment of this masculine's imagination. Because it's a very analytical, logical, masculine energy. Very maybe money motivated, right? And this feminine's coming in and they're showing, wait, money represents something else. It represents core values. It represents stability. It represents trust fund. This is like maybe someone who's very, very heavily involved in like the banking, in money, stocks, whatever. Maybe someone that wears like some sort of professional attire, at least semi-formal, like business attire, whatever. And this feminine, like here, look at him. Look at this feminine. Maybe something with the nunnery that's very, but this feels like maybe two different worlds. And I'm watching the show Evil right now. And there's, you know, there's what is evil? Where does it come from? Is it spiritual? Is it scientific? And they've got 3 people working as a team of assessors to go and evaluate people who feel like they've been possessed, infested, or whatever. What is it? Infiltrated. And so it's like they go in there, but there's the woman. She's a psychologist. She's an agnostic, which I think everyone's an agnostic. Everyone is like spirituality envelops all of it. But that's my perspective. So maybe you have a difference of perspective on where you come from. But she's very like that, and this is he's a pre-priest because he's in training to become a priest when they first meet each other, and this is like part of his not ordinance, like he has to become ordained, but this is kind of part of that, his building his resume or whatever for the Vatican. Anyway, 2 different worlds, 2 different perspectives. One's very head, one's very heart, one's very high, one's very grounded, you know. So this is like a Fool and a Queen of Pentacles. Could be an Aries or Aquarius involved. Pisces here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, feminine. Knight of Wands. Okay, so the reason that this feminine has this value system is because they've walked away from many situations that did not meet that value system, or took from that value system, depleted that value system. Maybe somebody emptied somebody's bank account. Or took a lot of money from them, borrowed it, never paid it back. There was some sort of financial hit possibly, but it was also connected to this feminine's like bedrock, the Flintstones. Meet the Flintstones. It was not a yabba dabba do time for this feminine though, so she left. The 8 of Cups is choosing yourself. This is not someone who chooses a rebound. They just choose themselves. Yep. She went through the Page of Pentacles, which is very slow, like taking all the pieces apart. This is Hermit energy, Virgo energy. It's that self-analysis. It's like she kind of had to break herself completely apart so that she could put the pieces back together how she meant them to be put together. Because other people, she allowed other people, it's like maybe giving her body too much, or her energy, her love too much, her money too much. Maybe this is somebody who was doing well. Maybe they came from money, whatever. And maybe masculines came into this feminine's life to take from that. That's all that this feminine has dealt with up until this point. Yeah, just one cup after another of like, nah. Queen of Cups, there's the Hermit. I gotta reevaluate. So they did a lot of shadow work and childhood wound healing, this feminine. And see how this feminine figure here is looking at the Three of Wands? It's like their own Holy Trinity, me, myself, and I. This is someone who in very solitary energy, in that High Priestess moon energy, feminine, the third eye, seeing the way forward. And the Three of Wands is like preparing for the way forward. And see how it's attached. So there could be a child involved, a pregnancy involved, could be a loss of pregnancy involved. But there is this something rooted, something like coiled is the word that I'm getting, coiled into. I mean, maybe this feminine has like very curly hair or something. I don't know. That's specific, but that is a confirmation for somebody. But it's like this wild, but it's like all of their wild stuff. I don't know. Maybe this feminine just was like, because we have Temperance and the Tower. So there's Scorpio and Sagittarius. This feminine has gone, and the Hermit, this feminine has gone through a lot of major arcana work here to do this shadow work, to do this childhood wounding, healing their inner child, and figuring out like, where did this behavior come from? Because it's and there could be a lot of shame associated with this feminine, or at least there was, and they've had to work through that because there's this monster hoodie like costume. So maybe something with Halloween. You could be dealing with someone in that time frame. The moon. There's a lot. This feminine's, I get the bedrock, the foundation. That's why I'm getting like the center of this feminine kind of got, I get like the hi ho. So it's off to work we go. It was like they were with masculines and other people, probably other feminines, platonic friends, business people, family. It's like this feminine had to go away from all of that. It's like they had to leave where they came from. Traditionally the Three of Wands is a figure kind of standing on, like there's a desert out ahead. What's it going to be? I think it's not a desert. It's something golden. It's the ocean, and it's got the two little, there's like ships. Like there's somebody like looking out to sea, looking at what's next, and seeing, well, which way do I want to go? Because these ships are going different directions. They have different paths. Which path works for me? And I think this feminine just wore like a monster suit. Maybe they were someone who got scapegoated. They could have been raised by a narcissistic parent. There's always a scapegoat and a flying monkey. And so it's like they were made out to be this monster. Monster money. So yeah, this feminine could have come from money, and maybe they left all of it. This is very specific, but like they could have donated all of their trust to something, or like put it into a project or something like that. Because they went from this Five of Pentacles, feeling left out in the cold, feeling completely depleted, bankrupt. Could be a bankruptcy involved. But this is, and so like, it could be emotional, right? Because Pentacles represent stability, health, and wealth. And then money. But that's just it's like the least important thing, because when your value system internally is right and you're aligned with that, then you gravitate towards things that are financially, they bring stability. So you might not be like out popping bottles at the VIP clubs and all that. But you have food, you have shelter, you have family, you have love, unconditional love. That's Pentacles. That's earth energy. That is fixed energy. And this feminine is like, they just decided all at once, I feel. Maybe they just dealt with one last person, and there was like the straw that broke the camel's back. A lot of desert imagery here in my head, not in these cards, because there's actually a lot of water imagery in the cards. Queen of Cups surrounded by water on her little island. The Fool, splashing white caps. It also could be, okay. And this is the thing with there's something with land and water. So you could have strong earth and water placements, but energetically speaking, for those two to be confused, it's like the shoreline. It's the in-between. It's eat, pray, love. What is it? Let's cross over. All I can hear is arrivederci, and that's not it at all. Now I want to know what that is. It'll come to me in just a second. Because it's so funny, because she's like, oh, it's the perfect Italian word. It's the rolling trill, the soft S, and she's like describing this one word, and it becomes like her favorite word. Oh wow, that's irritating. because I can see it zooms in on their mouth as they're saying. I can see it. I can see the shapes their mouths are making, but it's like right on the tip of their tongue. There's something on the tip of the tongue, the teeth, the lips with this masculine. And yeah, this masculine could speak kind of in riddles in a way. I'm getting kind of like a yodel-hee-hoo. They could sing. But there's mountains. It's mountains, I'm pretty sure. But it looks like the Little Mermaid. Part of that world. So yeah, maybe somebody wants to be part of your world, feminines. This masculine sure does. This feminine, holy shit. But the tower actually became the strength. It became the thing that made them look at their ego and say, no more. No more. So strength, Leo as well. I'm not doing that anymore. And that was maybe like the rose-colored glasses effect. They were looking and they're like, oh, what a beautiful ocean. It's like, oh, it's mountains. I can't just float through this shit. Like, love is supposed to feel like floating, not hiking up a fucking mountain, you know, like a whole mountain ridge, you know. Maybe you two like to hike and you will hike together. I enjoy hiking as well. I actually will take hiking over the ocean. I don't get in the ocean, so maybe there's a fear of the ocean, so you just pretend. There's a lot of pretense here of just like, oh, it's a mountain. Not looking at that, not looking at the water, not looking at my emotions, not looking at my feelings. I'm gonna pretend that's a mountain. I'm gonna play the part of this person this monster. And maybe this is a revelation that the feminine had and the masculine had on this journey, is like, money ain't shit without love. And that reminds me of Sex and the City, where Samantha is very sick. So maybe you are just kind of like going through something. Maybe you went through something with a person, that tower. Maybe your health was shaken. Like the actual like center, maybe something in like the torso, the abdomen. Like there could have been something at your center. The center of the body is the heart. So something with the heart space, that could be proverbial heart. That could be the literal anatomical heart, right? Maybe there was some kind, but it all mirrors. The spiritual leaks into the scientific. We know that. Because the scientific is just how we've learned to describe things that are indescribable otherwise. And that's kind of like that nomenclature thing. So there's a lot of medical terminology or like health thing. Maybe you met through that, some sort of healing. You might have met very specifically like in chemo. You look over, there's a love of your life, and you both like, because the temperance is very healing, but you can only heal once you've broken down. You know, you can't heal something if it's not sick. So it's weird. It's like antibiotics. They get worse before they get better. And so it was like this healing. You had to like, it's a lot. Feminines specifically here, because this masculine looks like somebody, the hangman takes chances. The hangmans, they do it slowly, and they make sure that they evaluate it first, that it's safe to move forward. Because this is Piscean energy, and Pisces doesn't just jump into shit. Because they're not going to be a fish out of water. Like they need to make sure like their source of life, their life source is going to be around them. Like they're going to be safe. So this masculine may have worked very hard to get this safety, but they feel very, like with the major arcana around this feminine, it feels like this masculine, they want this feminine, they want to be the stability that lets this feminine sit down and just marvel at all the work that they've done. So yeah, maybe this feminine doesn't realize how much work you've done, because it's a lot. Like it's a lot. You sat down with your demons. You've had some tea with them. The Emperor, the Fool and the Emperor. Double Aries energy here with supplemental Aquarius and Capricorn energy. But this Emperor, Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, they're gonna fight for this feminine stability. Ooh, I love this. I love this. This is like a man. And there he is, that King of Cups to meet that Queen of Cups. See, this Queen of Cups, usually the Queen of Cups has more than enough. Once you fill your cup, you have more than enough to share, right? And you're more than willing to do so. So this is an over-giving type energy. This is a feminine though. So yeah, she's got her hand cupped underneath her. She's not wasting a drop. This feminine is not wasting a freaking drop on anybody else ever again. Well, feminines, I'm here to tell you this is not a wasted drop here, because this is the boss energy. This is the divine masculine with the emperor. So your next connection could be the connection. Unless feminines, you want to be a runner and dick around here. Hanged man and strength, yeah. They're just confirmation, major arcana to what I was talking about with the hanged man there. I get that whole, like, oh, and the chariot. More Cancerian energy. Okay, so, and those are the next readings that I'm doing. Cancer and Leo. So, if you are interested in those, or maybe that you have those placements, maybe there's something in there for you that there, or your person has strong Leo, Pisces, Cancer placements, Aries placements. And then we also have that Capricorn, Aquarius supplemental energy, and Sagittarius with Temperance, a lot of Hermit, Virgo energy, and then we have the Tower, which is Mars, which is more Aries and Scorpio. Okay. I'm getting that thing, give people enough rope to hang themselves with, right? Just sit back, walk softly, carry a big stick, that whole thing. Sit back, observe. Feminines, you can do this. You can savor every last drop, and you can be guarded, right? You can be all of those things as long as you're communicating about them, as long as you are aware of them as it seems you are. You've done a lot of work to do this self-analysis and like break yourself down and go, oh, that's what that's from. Ooh, that's rusted. We need a little WD-40. It's like you've mechanically sort of pieced yourself back together. Could be a lot of illness involved here as well, but it's in the past. There's a lot of healing. You've healed, and you can discern the difference through that healing as long as you take your time. Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight. We can still fight for love. We can still talk about it with the swords, the sword that's there, that sword of truth. We can talk about it. I can tell you like a lot of things overwhelm me. I have trust issues, and it's not trust issues. It's trust experience, right? Or lack thereof. But it's not like this isn't just like a feminine who has these issues with relationships or that because they're emotionally underdeveloped. This is a feminine who's very developed. I mean, maybe she's very developed. I don't know. But she's very developed and has done a lot of work, but it's like, and maybe this feminine puts this monster on because coming from a sort of, I'm getting a little bit of like not a runner, but just like a feminine that's willing to choose himself every time. And see, that's funny because that's land in the background. There's a little like stream, river running through the middle. But when I looked at that, it looked like they were on a cliff with water in the background, but it's land. So there's something with like land and water. Maybe you have to cross land or sea. So that's like world energy, distance. Maybe someone travels a lot, or maybe, again, it's like that rose-colored thing. It's not seeing something for what it is. And that might not be for just the past connections, like because this feminine went through so many connections possibly, and I think the masculine has as well, but it is maybe more in the past for the masculine. So it could be an age difference or just experience difference with these two, because it feels like the feminine through each of these things where they're like, oh, I can't even trust myself because I thought they were a good person. I thought they were honest. They said this and I believed them. And then they, made me bankrupt emotionally or literally. And so now it's like when you meet somebody who presents in this very strong energy, it can be very intimidating if you're not ready for it. Even if you are ready for it, it's still like, oh shit, that thing I asked for is here. It's like ordering something online. It gets there and you're like, oh, I really wanted this. This is going to change my life. But now I got to like take everything out, read the instructions, put it together, whatever. There's a little bit of investment here beyond just calling it in and all of the other strenuous work that I've done on my shadows and my emotions, my inner child. We don't do work on our inner child. We acknowledge our inner child. We recognize, we understand, we listen to, because the inner child is never the problem. It's just not. Children are pure. It's the purest form of you. It is your center. So there's a lot with the inner child. This feminine is going to be able to relax and be like a child again. They're going to be able to return to center. Return to center. That feels very yoga. We do have this hangman doing the inversions here. But it's almost like, oh, I'm going to give them a little bit of rope and let them hang themselves. I'm going to give them a little bit of rope. And it's like the feminine's just like, there's really no tension there. They haven't hung themselves yet. They just keep taking the rope. And the masculine's over there like fucking building the rope house while the feminine's just like, ooh, here you go. Any day now they're going to prove me right. They're going to prove you right, but they're going to prove your inner child right, because as an inner child, you believed in love like this. You believed in partnership like this. Something happened, divorce, death, loss, the fabrication that your life was, at some point, there was a thread. Somebody pulled at that thread. Something, entities, could be one person or it could be spiritual entities moving in and out of multiple different vessels and experiences in your life. And it's just like one day, like the tower, it just comes down. This unexpected change. And then you're sitting there left with nothing. Nothing, where there was once this like beautiful tapestry of lies. And yes, it's the truth, but the truth sucks a lot of times. When the truth means that you have to cut certain people out of your life, that people you maybe thought were really good friends, family members, lovers, were actually did not have your best interest at heart. And you have to choose yourself. This 8 of Cups is a power move. Divine power move. Choosing yourself. This isn't rebounding from one thing to the next and saying, you know what? I'm just gonna go over here to this guy. This feminine saying, no. I'm just not gonna even look at love. I think that the feminine didn't look at love. Now they want to look at love again. They're like, I have enough filled up cup here. My cup is it runneth over. And so I think that there's maybe this feminine is planning, like, how can I do this? How can I move forward? Knowing all this about myself, knowing how it's affected me in the past. Can I trust my gut? Can I trust my gut on this new path? I would say you can always trust your gut. You should be able to always trust your gut. So maybe sitting with yourself, putting your hands over your heart, putting your hands over your gut, your belly, and everything in between, from the sacral chakra to the heart chakra. It's like, and that's the solar plexus, right? The diaphragm, the breathing, like just breathe, and maybe doing, it's like Lamaze breathing, maybe doing like some Wim Hof breathing. So you could be picking up some new breathing techniques, because if you've dealt with anxiety in the past, if you've dealt with any kind of physical reactions to experiences that you've had, this love is amazing, but you're gonna have to make sure you stay hydrated. You know what I mean? It's a marathon. You're gonna have to stay hydrated. You're gonna have to stretch. You're gonna have to get good shoes. It's like you gotta make sure you check your tool bag, make sure that you've got everything there. Anything you don't have, you can plan for, you can accommodate. And most importantly, take your time. The right people will not be mad if you take your time, because they don't feel entitled to your time. Narcissistic people think they are entitled to your time. Job environment. So there could be a lot of other things here with the money and the wand. This could be like 3 things that this feminine is trying to like reinvest into. Now that they put that work into themselves, they can put some over here, some over there. And maybe they want to like launch a project. Maybe they want to change jobs, move, there's like action. Wands are action. So it's like 3 actions. Or maybe 3 choices. Like, oh, I could go work here, there, or there. Maybe they've got 3 masculine suitors. And it's like, you're almost just like plugging them in and doing like a diagnostic test on them, I just did this with my van. So I'm feeling like there's like like a code reader. You're plugging it in, but you're plugging it into you, feminines. You're like, yeah, you're seeing which one of these pops the least amount of codes, or what codes are compatible with your codes, right? You could have a list of codes, and this person could have one, but that one does not match up with any of yours. And it's not about who's better, who's worse, who's smarter, who's, more evolved, or any of that. It's just, you're not compatible. This is all about compatibility. So you could be dealing with a fixed sign, earth sign. I've had a couple fixed signs come out here. But somebody in that very present energy. This person is very grounding. This connection is very grounding and healing for both of you. What is that? Is that my man? I thought it was the Emperor. It's not. And I go, is that my man? And it's the Five of Cups. So again, feminines, as long as you're always willing to choose yourself, you can never lose. You can never lose. Take your time. Don't give your body to anybody. Make sure that people earn it. But we have the Wheel of Fortune, Hierophant, and Justice. So this feels like marriage coming in. And more fixed energy. We have the Hierophant, which is Taurus, and then Justice, which is Libra. That gives me Empress, because Taurus and Libra reign from Venus, which is the Empress. So maybe those are confirmations for the masculine, because I give them very much attention. Sorry, masculines. The feminine side was just very interesting, and you seemed kind of grounded in this. You seemed more sure. But put the thing down, flip it, and reverse it any way you want to. Let's pull a number, roll a number. 4. Could be the 1111, divine timing with the Wheel of Fortune, and justice, karmic justice. So you could be a life path 4, but maybe you see repeating 4s or numbers in a sequence of 4s. So something about that. Maybe you golf 4. All right, let's pull a color. Blue. I haven't pulled this one yet. It's like a bluish gray. So, blue is the throat chakra. It's all about speaking truth, communication, connection through truth. So yeah, there's going to be, I feel like you're both just going to put all your cards out on the table. And not in a way that's like, oh gosh, here's all my trauma, but just like, these are the things I need for us to move forward. And it's not, I need to get married, we need to have 3 children, we need to have a white picket fence, we need to live in Connecticut, whatever. It's none of that. It's, okay, we're meeting for a first date. There's certain things like things that we, and I feel like you're just going to be asking each other. So maybe you will through the night, like, get to that point. You might just talk through the night or something. And because the communication is so like, yep, understood, heard, understood, copy, it's like, gotcha. So maybe because crop swap, yeah, it's like, because I don't feel like you guys are going to do things traditionally. That's not really Gemini's way. Swap your incomplete crop for another player's incomplete crop. Yeah, you're both like, I'm fucked up, you're fucked up. Cool. It's very eternal sunshine of the spotless mind. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to run because I can't handle the pressure, and I'm bored, and I'm stressed. She's a Sagittarius in life, and he is a Capricorn. And he goes, okay. And she's like, fuck, okay. I can't. And I get that from the feminine here, like, okay, I guess we'll just like live abundantly and love forever. Cool. Knight of Cups. Yeah, this person's gonna fight for your love, and I don't feel like they're gonna be, this isn't a masculine, it's an emperor. They're not gonna like compete. They just know. And they don't pursue anything unless they know, like, that's what this feminine's looking for. So they might be looking at the other suitors and going like, they are no competition, which is what you want. But this is a very strong energy, feminine, so just prepare yourself for this incoming energy, as I say, information. And yeah, maybe it's going to be, maybe somebody you've known, and they're going to give you this information, and it might come as a shock, and you're like, oh, maybe you thought that they were out of your league. Or maybe, you know how we kind of have just kind of like, when we scan a room, if you're dating, you go to a place and you look at a room, you kind of like, those are the people in my level or whatever, you can kind of tell. Or you see somebody and they've got a wedding ring on, you're like, that's not my bag of chips. Or they're smoking, and you're like, that's not my bag of chips. Whatever. You kind of just look around and you sort of go like, this is my group of people. And then I feel like this emperor's back here, and they're watching these masculines try to come up and get on your dance card, and the feminine's like, no thanks, no thanks. 8 of cups, 8 of cups. And the masculine's like, we got to break that cycle though, of you just being alone, because you deserve to be loved and you deserve to give love, because they can see that this feminine has a beautiful love to give, and they want to be the masculine energy that holds that safe space so the feminine can be their fullest expression of themselves. Whoo, that's good. I like that. I like it like that. I like it like that. Yeah, I guess I pulled everything. I want to keep getting into this energy because I like it. It's very good. So, yeah, I absolutely hope that something was in here for you. Thank everybody out there. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support. And yeah, try not to channel these because I want to keep them shorter. I think yours is the longest because I'm self-indulgent and I want to go in there and just kind of revel in this, like a good movie or a good dream. Like, oh, I want to just go back to sleep for another couple minutes. But another couple minutes will turn into another hour because that's how I roll. So I hope there was something in here for you, Gemini. And until next time, I wish you well.